As most of you know, hijab was a big news break that India today put out for the first time over New Year, and now it's in court. What you also know is that hijab is not just an Indian headline, it's a global headline now because of what's happening in Iran. So there was no way we weren't going to debate it in the Democratic Newsroom.
Now, the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini in Iran over not wearing the hijab and the subsequent protests in the country. Here in India, it's about choice, about wearing the hijab. What does everyone think about this, Preeti?
I don't believe that in Iran it's about not wearing the hijab. I think it's a protest which is more pro-choice. It's about trying to get somebody to wear a hijab and protest against this. And I'm sure there could be women who want to embrace the hijab of their own volition. That is what the debate is in Iran. The biggest casualty of all of this, with what we've seen in the last 1 year, have been those young girls where education has been taken away. You might want to look at these, you want to modernize people concept. You can't enforce modernization. What has been the casualty is most of these girls who were caught in the middle of the crossfire, who were going to school in hijab, today are not going to school. You've taken away. You have taken away a full year of
for school children.
Their right to education.
The contention for school children is, are they old enough to take a choice? Is it their parents imposing the choice on them?
I think because for me, burqa, face veil, it's regressive, it's anti-women, should not be justifying it, encouraging it, being politically correct about it. That's for burqa, I'm very clear about it.
But why? If a woman wants to wear it?
Sure, she can wear it. No, I'm not stopping her. But I believe that because as women, it goes for Hindu parda also. Like women being told कि आप अपने आप को cover करके रखो because ससुर जी हैं, पिताजी हैं. It's part of culture. A young 5-year-old girl, cover your hair or a man will be aroused? No. Telling a 6-year-old girl you don't show your hair, something will happen to you. You need to tell young Indian girls that you have to kick ass.
But that's the problem, that in India when we talk about choice and this whole debate that's happening, it's about schools as well and about little children. Where do you draw the line then, and how do you define that, and say that this is choice, this isn't?
In this case, I think the whole issue came from uniform, which was not there in that school. And then for girls to say we'll suddenly start wearing it had to become an issue.
Wearing it from earlier. That's
These girls were not wearing it.
These girls were wearing it.
One second, Nabila covered this. Nabila, you covered this in Karnataka.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My whole deal, I think the debate has come down to whether hijab is regressive or not. So if we have to compare this with what's happening in Iran, I think it's a very wrong comparison, because in Iran, hijab is enforced.
Yeah.
Thankfully, and I feel proud to be an Indian, because I'm in a secular country where I have the choice of freedom. I have the choice to wear a hijab or not to wear the hijab. Now, when it comes to debate on India and how hijab should be worn inside educational institutions or not, uniformity, well, if there has been uniformity in educational institutions for long now, and that's been the cultural practice, and then girls are coming out to say, no, I still want to wear the hijab inside, that's wrong. You got to follow the uniformity rule.
The difference between Iran and India is the woman got killed, arrested, murdered in custody for not wearing a hijab properly. That's not the situation in India. We're a democracy. I don't like them, I'll tell them. She wants to wear it, she has every right. She's not going to be arrested. She's not going to be killed for wearing a hijab.
You've taken away right to education of these young girls who are in school.
You're not letting them enter classes because of it. You're not letting them study because of it. Is that so important an issue that you won't let them study?
True.
An entire year has been wasted, and this is the argument. This is the misinformation as far as this entire case is concerned. This is the argument that is being put forth, that until 2021, these girls were not wearing the headscarf. Suddenly they decided to start wearing the hijab and coming into their schools and universities. That's not the case. Are you saying that this is essential religious practice, which was the argument which was made about Article 25 in court, in the Karnataka High Court? No, it's not essential religious practice, but it is a matter of choice.
Ultimately, what has happened? You have taken away a fundamental right of these girls to education because you think
so. What do you think should happen?
If I can elaborate a little bit.
And then if kids come and say, I want to wear saffron shawls, can you allow that?
One second.
Whether it's a form of protest.
No, you can't equate saffron shawl to hijab. I'm sorry, that's a very wrong equation.
No, you can't equate a saffron shawl to a hijab. It's not about equating, it's about choice. Now, if people come and say, this is my choice to wear saffron shawls, how do you define?
There is a law that very clearly distincts what is an essential religious practice and what's not. Saffron scarf has never been an essential religious practice. Hijab has, according to the Karnataka High Court, has denied it to be an essential religious practice. The matter is in Supreme Court, so let's wait for the hearing to complete there. There are 3 parameters with which essential religious practice is looked at. One is its mention in the religious scriptures, which hijab is very much mentioned in the religious scriptures, except it does not say, one second, it does not say it's compulsion, it says it's recommended, all right? Second, whether this practice has been on since the inception of the religion or not. And third, how entrenched is it within the culture, within the Islamic community? I don't see this equated to a saffron scarf. That's a whole different ballgame altogether. Hijab has been a cultural practice.
I think that multiculturalism has to say that's what we are proud of in India. The fact is the headscarf for young girls is a message. It's saying something. As women, we can wear whatever we want. But to tell young girls, this is what you must wear because you're a woman.
We to give moral reference points to anyone in this country.
Precisely. Why are you making it sound like young girls as young as Saya being told, listen, if you don't wear the hijab, men are going to be aroused? Are you really kidding me? No, it does not happen like that. It's a faith, it's a culture that's been followed for eons. Some Muslim families who are conservative follow it. You can't help it.
I'd like to say something
just like how Hindu families practice wearing toring for women, Mangalsutra wearing a gown.
But nobody is propagating that. Nobody's propagating that.
Do we have a model standing there? That's my point.
A lot of young girls.
Do we have a model standing?
Yes, a lot of young girls in their class 12th, first year, second year, when you go report out in Uttar Pradesh, you will see will come to college with their faces covered because they are married. It happens. Right? Do you tell them? Do you tell? One second, give me a minute, Pooja. Give me a minute. Do you go to them and tell them take off your parda?
No,
you will not.
No,
Therefore, can you tell a 5-year-old?
Girls are still not allowed to go to the kitchen till day.
So it's wrong, right? You need to fight against it.
Okay,
Will you take away?
While many are talking about Iran and then comparing it to India, there's zero comparison. And we all, while we have our viewpoint stands and have this debate, I think we can all agree that we're pro-choice. And that's what it comes down to. And of course, hand it over to the Supreme Court now to decide on this entire issue.
I think regressive or not, you can't call a piece of cloth regressive. It's basically the mentality behind it that is regressive. And having the choice to freedom, the freedom to choice is actually the most progressive thing ever. To wear it or not to wear. It's your choice.
And you might want to attempt to modernize. You can't enforce people to modernize. Yeah, it's a slow process. It's at a grassroots level. Educate them. Maybe that young girl who at 6 years is irking you because she wears the burqa or the hijab. By the time she gets into college, maybe when she graduates, you wouldn't let her
take it off. Exactly.
Would you agree, Preeti, in let's say the Hindi belt as we say it, UP, Rajasthan, where parda was such a big thing that it has come down. Why has it come down? It's come down because of awareness. Because
how do you know?
To fight.
Women started to fight how? You didn't start pulling the parda off their faces, right?
Well, I'm sure in some cases,
no, you didn't.
The family said, don't wear it. The daughter-in-law should not.
Well, how do you get
that
and you tell the man in the family?
You can't enforce it on them, exactly.
Yeah, you can't tell the man in the family.
I think we'll all agree you can't have a girl lose her education.
Exactly. And I really want to make one pertinent point what's happened in Karnataka. 17,000 girls opted out of school. Would you expect a girl to shed her inhibitions overnight? That's not fair. And even if many Muslim girls have managed to break stereotypes and attend higher education, even if it is with the hijab, we've got to give them that leeway. Yeah. Who are we to say that it's a regressive practice, get out of it?